we are rolling. Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Jonathan Bouts. With me is Brady DeShong, and welcome back to the Brainwave. On this episode, we're going to be talking about Brady. Good old Brady. Look at him sitting there. Look at that smile. Hey,
too much smile.
Yes.
Too much smile.
Yes. Yeah. I need you to turn that down a little bit. It's better.
I feel like Sheldon Cooper.
So, Brady, in this episode, we're talking all about you.
What I do, not me.
Okay, yeah, what you do. Well, I would like to talk about you. Sorry, ladies, he's taken.
We'll see how long. That's a joke. That is a joke.
Should I start this episode over?
That's a joke.
Watch out, Maddie.
Yeah. No, you're good.
He's joking. It didn't even look like a heart.
Hey, you didn't even look like a heart. I can't see because your damn microphone's in the way of my vision.
Don't make fun of my microphone.
Don't make fun of my heart.
That's fair.
There we go.
Anyways. So, Brady, you are going to Rutgers University.
I am.
For philosophy.
I am.
And for those who don't know, Brady can go more into detail about this because it's not really my forte. It's his forte. But Rutgers is one of the best universities for philosophy. Is that correct?
Yeah. They're constantly in a lock with NYU for the top spot. Huh. But I'd say they're consistently top two.
Consistently top two?
Yeah, consistently top two or three. It's NYU, Rutgers, and then Oxford is in there too.
So Rutgers is above Oxford?
Usually, yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
So when you say it's in like the top one or two, what kind of scale are we going on here? Is that East Coast? Is that
No, that's world because Oxford is over in England. So
that's worldwide.
Yeah.
You're in the number 1/2 school for philosophy.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
No problem. So, philosophy.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about it.
First, let me exploit some popular misconceptions about the field. Dad, I'm talking to you. So, a lot of times when you hear somebody say they're a philosopher, or perhaps more common, they're majoring in philosophy, people will think, whoa, so he just asks why about everything. No, that's not. I mean, yes, but that's not really the case. I don't ask, why is this table in this room like this? It is not that. That is not what I do. That's not what we do as a field.
Is there a problem with my table?
Why?
So I could put the mic there.
No.
It has a reason.
Yeah. But that's a huge misconception. Or people will make a smart remark. Again, Dad.
Nobody specific.
Talking to you, brother.
Dad.
No. When you're talking about something and then somebody wants to go, but what does this have to do with dog food? Trying to make fun or, I guess, mimic what philosophy majors do. That is not the type of questions that we ask. Those are not. That's just not what I do.
I've been misled my whole life.
Yeah.
Camera went out of focus there for.
Yeah, it did. I noticed that. It threw me off. Oh, we're good. So
Slight camera adjustments.
yeah, so that's what philosophy is not, but it's
So
a
what
very...
is philosophy? Sorry.
I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked.
Well,
No, it's a very broad field. It contains politics, social issues, and those are just the more concrete, modern areas. But it also contains metaphysics, which is basically just what's reality.
that's so meta.
Like if there's a god or not, or if there's spirits, that's metaphysics, the nature of reality. Epistemology. Oh God, I believe that's what is knowledge. Dr. Bradnick, forgive me for that one. Wow.
That just sounds way too deep for me. Like, what is knowledge? Wouldn't that be
Well,
the knowledge of knowledge?
Well, no, like yeah, but concerning what is truth? How do you determine what's true? Or is there such a thing as an objective truth?
Like an absolute.
An absolute. Is there such a thing? Because time is relative.
Well, don't get me started on that.
Yeah, we'll go into that in your introductory episode. That's all. It's all relative. Forgive me. That was my best Alex Trebek impression, and it was god awful. What the hell are we talking about?
Philosophy.
Yeah.
And what it really is.
You
were on epistemology.
Yeah, so, it also contains religion. I'm not saying one thing or the other. I guess I am. That was poor wording, Brady. Religion can fall under the very broad category of philosophy. So a lot of philosophy majors study the different types of religions. I've studied many different religions. So those are the kinds of things we do. Oh, ethics is a huge one. Ethics. Can't believe I forgot about that. Basically, that can concern the death penalty or other, bioengineering. Like genetically modifying people. Is it right or is it wrong to do that? Philosophy can touch on all of these subjects.
So it seems like it's a pretty broad,
very broad
spectrum that covers almost anything. Like you can take almost anything and look at it in a philosophical way.
Yeah, you can pretty much take philosophy and put it under just about any subject and give it that touch of philosophical thinking.
That's cool.
So, yeah. So we get into a lot of different fields.
Now, how often, excuse me for sounding ignorant.
No, you're fine.
But how often do you actually ask the question, but why?
I guess it depends. It kind of depends on what we're talking about.
What would be a good example?
Well, take for instance scientists.
Okay.
Because that's your field. When you come across something, or even modern day politics on social media. Let's say some news story is posted on Facebook, and everybody's kind of going along with it. A lot of people call that the herd mentality. By the way, that came from Friedrich Nietzsche, a philosopher, my favorite philosopher. So everyone's going along with this headline. Let's say, I don't want to get into anything that would cause controversy, so let's just leave it general.
No, please, by all means, dig into it.
I don't want to.
Okay, never mind.
I don't want to spark arguments here.
At a later date.
Yeah. So, if everybody's going with this headline, you should be the person that asks, well, is this headline accurate? Where's this information coming from? That would be the equivalent to the philosophical, or the stereotypical philosophical why. You could ask that. Newton asked that question about gravity. Newton wanted to find out why things fall. So he asked why. And that question prompted him to come up with Principia?
Mm-hmm.
Principia? Yeah.
Yep.
His basic, not basic, I guess. But
not basic.
Classical physics.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what field you're in, on how much you actually ask the why question. Because you don't always have to ask it. A lot of that's been settled.
Okay.
But it's good to be skeptical, and it's good to question things.
It's great to question things, or else we wouldn't have most of what we have today.
And that's every field. That's science.
Yeah, that's science, is to observe and record.
Yeah.
And then, if you don't get it, ask why.
Yeah, and ask why beforehand so you even can figure out what you're going into.
If you know why you're asking why.
Oh, God. Now people are like, oh, now they're getting philosophical. This is,
This is a philosophical episode, people. Sorry.
Yeah.
But, so even that would be a good example, I guess, of philosophy. If you don't know the right question to ask, how would you know about what to ask?
Exactly.
So, philosophy sounds like something I might want to get into way later on down the road. When I might have free time.
They say Aristotle was the father of modern science.
Right.
And he was one of the most well-known philosophers of all time, if not the most well-known. So,
that's very true.
Philosophy and science, a lot of times, and in the very early years, we're talking around 200 to 400 BCE and on.
Yeah.
They kind of went hand in hand a lot of times.
For a very long time.
For a very long time, yeah.
Hundreds to potentially thousands of years. Well, not thousands, but
hundreds,
into the thousands.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. But, philosophy, like you say, went directly hand in hand with science, and they kind of carried each other.
Yeah.
It wasn't until just modern day that if you go to school for 8 years, you don't just get your PhD or you just don't get a doctorate. You're getting one or the other, because there's the doctorates or there's a doctorates in philosophy.
Yeah.
So
that's what PhD is.
Yeah, so here I am with my doctorates, and when you have yours, you'll have your PhD.
Yeah.
So maybe one day I'll be Dr. John Bout's PhD.
Yeah. and also philosophy and psychology until about Dr. Shoemaker, forgive me, I forget the year. The late 1800s, like 1880, I think is around, maybe 79, something like that. Psychology was part of philosophy. And then psychology started becoming a science when the first experimental psychologists started to show up, like, I think his name was Ludwig Wittgenstein, or something. Again, I'm sorry to all psych majors and psychologists. I totally butchered that. But you know where I was going with it, hopefully.
You got a lot farther than I would have.
But no, they psychology was part of philosophy for a long, long time. Basically, ever since they've been around until the late 19th century. And then they split because psychology became a science.
Yeah.
So, that's another instance of how philosophers touch on every subject.
That's cool. The fact that you're not stuck in just one field, that you can literally branch into almost everything.
Yeah.
This is a little off topic, but I think these science, or the educational community rather, was actually discussing about a third branch of a doctorate's degree. That you have your doctorates, that you have your PhD, and now apparently there's an SCD, which is specifically a doctorates in science.
I know there's a PsyD, like psychology.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. So this would be the fourth one.
Dude, I don't know. I have no idea.
Why can't it just be doctorates in, like, I don't
know.
I don't understand that.
I guess it's like the bachelor's thing, like BA or BS, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science.
Yeah,
things like that.
That's annoying. I mean, I do have a BS because I'm full of it.
It's another one of our dry jokes.
Because no one's ever heard that one before.
I don't know why we're not comics, John.
I know.
Seriously.
I know. I can't imagine how mno people are just rolling their eyes listening to this. Right
we probably just lost listeners. Please. We need you.
Go. Sorry, I'll just fade off camera.
That's going to haunt your dreams, my friends.
Yes, it
That right there is going to haunt your dreams.
Wait, there's more. Back on topic.
Yeah.
So, do you want to become a doctor?
I do.
And what do you hope to do with it when you get it?
Yeah. The most common, the question I get almost every single time I say I'm majoring in philosophy.
Well, I'm being a generic bitch.
People were like, either well-mannered, and they really have my interest at heart, or some people in a condescending, demeaning way, and I'll do that one just for the sake of entertainment, I guess. Philosophy. Well, what do you want to do with that? 'Cause I get that all the time. So, what you can do with a bachelor's or a master's degree is a whole lot of things. Because it's a very broad field, and it teaches you fundamental skills such as problem solving, reasoning. I guess they go hand in hand.
Hey, Brady.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off, I apologize for that.
Yeah.
But would you mind scooting over to your right a little bit?
Right here?
You're right. You're right. There you go.
What? No,
I just want to make sure my camera's not cutting you off.
Oh.
So you should
wow.
be good where you're sitting.
Okay.
I apologize.
No, yeah, we're good.
Go ahead.
So, yeah.
I made you lose your train of thought.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I get back. It teaches you critical thinking, different types of problem solving, just things of that nature. It teaches you how to think, and how to think well. And because of that, you can do so many things. And philosophy majors kill. I think it's the LSAT, which is a lawyer exam.
Yep.
Yeah. Philosophy
I'm pretty
majors,
sure.
Yeah. They do incredible in law school and becoming lawyers. Because philosophy is debating and picking apart arguments and building strong arguments. What do lawyers do? They argue with each other or try and pick apart the defense or the prosecution's argument. So you can do so many things with it. And to answer your question with the PhD, probably a professor is the biggest thing. A professor at a university, which is, I would like to do that eventually. And once I establish myself a little bit and get grounded in the field, I would like to become a writer.
I'll buy your book.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
And a bestseller at that. I think I have ideas that could go, but
watch out, New York Times.
yeah, we're gonna shake up the Times, baby. So yeah, that's basically, where I think I'm going to go. But that's always subject to change.
As life happens.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
When you get your doctorates and you become a professor, why is it you want to become a professor?
Yeah. Well, I suppose the answer would be about the same of why do I want to do this podcast? Or why did I start a debate group? It's all for this. It's all for the same purpose, really. I enjoy educating people. I enjoy learning new things all the time, which is why I have a huge interest in science. Even though I'm horrible at math, that's a huge part of physics and astronomy. And I am so passionate about those things. And as a professor, what do? You educate people. And you always constantly learn things from colleagues and whatever else you read or happen to come across in your life. I just love gaining new knowledge all the time. That's what I'm about. That's why I'm here doing this with you, and that's pretty much what goes on in my life.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. So you're going to be Dr. Brady DeShong,
Eventually.
PhD professor.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor. By the way, I need to throw this out there for all of our listeners our age. I'm 20s, 25. There will be an astronomical amount of SpongeBob references throughout this podcast. So that is something
Dr. Professor to you.
So that's something to look forward to.
We quote it way too much.
Alec, my brother, please don't disown me for that. just throwing that out there.
We quote SpongeBob at least 10 times a day.
A lot.
And
a lot.
I personally think the best part about it is that we don't have to go out of our way to make a reference. It just falls perfectly into conversation. If anything, we're professionals at this.
Yeah.
We know what we're doing. We've been doing it for years.
Seriously. It's bad when these references can just come up in casual conversation, and your knowledge of this cartoon is so expansive that you can just throw these out anywhere and they work.
Literally anywhere. Just toss one up and it'll land perfectly in the conversation at some point.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that the shirt I was wearing didn't have Pikachus all over it, but had SpongeBob all over it. I need to find that shirt. Yeah. Anyway. So, Mr. Dr. Professor Brady.
Yeah. That's what they call me.
PhD. So, your goals are that... Now, do you want to get your doctorates from Rutgers? Do they
Most likely, yes.
Okay, so they have a doctorates program.
Yeah, I'll probably go right from bachelor's to... I'm not even sure how they do it. They might go right into doctorate, or maybe master's first. So I know a lot of programs vary.
Yeah.
So I'm not entirely sure.
There are some universities or institutes or colleges or whatever that will have those 8-year programs, but they'll either offer you that after you get your bachelor's, of course, in order to get your doctorates, you have to get your master's.
Yeah.
Or other ones allow you to go from your bachelor's directly to your doctorates.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on, I think it depends on what you're majoring in, on what you want to get your degree in. I don't know. When I was going to MIT, I had to get my master's first, but I was also transferring from another school. I was transferring in from Cambridge, and I had to go to MIT from there. So maybe that's why for me, because I'm pretty sure even at MIT you can go from your bachelor's straight to your doctorates in certain programs. So after, since you're... Okay, so let me reiterate, recollect my thoughts here. So you want to go to Rutgers to get your PhD. You want to become a professor after that. So you're going to be Dr. Professor PhD. Mr. Dr. Professor PhD. Do you have any goals beyond your doctorates or your PhD or whatever the hell it's called these days?
Yeah.
Do you want to go back to school? Do you want to be a career student?
Yeah. So, and we talk about this all the time. Eventually, I don't know if it'll be after my first doctorate. Wow, that was a dumb thing to say. Obviously, it's going to be after my first doctorate.
He's going to get his first doctorate before his first doctorate.
Yeah.
That's the timeline.
Yeah. So, now, I do want to go to school for a long time because, like I said earlier, I'm all about just gaining knowledge all the time. Always learning, always open to new ideas and perspectives and what have you. And I would like to be in school for a long time. I would like to get multiple degrees, multiple doctorate degrees. At this point, I don't know what else it would be in. Maybe I would try my hand at a science degree, just to do it. Considering if I have the money for it or not at the time. But
so earlier you were saying that psychology and philosophy used to be hand in hand.
Yeah.
Would psychology be something that you would want to dip your fingers in?
I am very interested in psychology. I do not know if I would get a psych degree.
Okay.
And I think I know where you're going with this, trying to lead me into saying it. I was thinking about double majoring in astrophysics too. Yeah, along with philosophy. That's not happening right now. But after I get my doctorate, I might go back and do that because
My man.
Yeah, I love astronomy. I am obsessed with astronomy. I
will take credit that I may have fed that a little bit.
Yeah. I guess I'll give you the credit for that. Not all the credit. I when I met John, I was starting to polish my interest in astronomy. And then I met an actual astrophysicist, and from there it was like awesome. My interest just, took off to the point where I actually wanted to major in it. So
he takes a lot of interest in black holes. He really enjoyed talking about those. I remember those good old Leslie days.
Oh, Leslie's Pool Supplies. Good God.
Sorry, Leslie's. Sorry, past employer.
Yeah.
Worst place ever.
I can't say that.
Because you work there.
I do work there.
I'm sorry. You will be free.
No, I don't.
This will be your last season.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. I don't mind the place, to be honest. Last year was not a good year. Last year was really not a good year. For reasons that you know. I won't get into the details.
It wasn't because of me.
No.
Okay, we're good. I was his boss.
Yes. Yeah.
Straying away from the worst place to work ever, back onto the task at hand, or the topic at hand. Brady, I don't really have any more questions for you. I think we pretty much covered everything that was on my mind. Is there anything you want to add before we call it a night?
because I can't resist. I like to talk. So I'll probably say a few more words.
That was a few more words right there.
Yeah, really. There you go. No,
that was another one.
Honestly, that's probably everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have plenty more episodes to talk about philosophy.
Yeah.
I'll have plenty of more time to bore you guys with my pretentious thoughts and
I was
whatnot.
interested. I wasn't bored.
Well,
I was paying
but
attention.
No,
I have a level of intellect capable of understanding.
yeah, there you go. No, so we'll have plenty more time to talk about what I do. And, I'm sure as this podcast goes on, especially when we bring Dr. Bradnick in here,
I'm looking forward to that.
that's going to be a good episode.
Oh,
So
yeah.
definitely stay tuned for that. Philosophy is going to touch on many of these subjects. And because it's what I do, I'm naturally going to bring that in the podcast anyway. So there's nothing more that I have to say. But thanks again for listening or watching if you're watching this on YouTube, guys.
That's it. Brady, thank you so much. And like Brady said, we'll see all of you in the next episode of The Brainwave. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And see you next time. Bye-bye.